Today on the TheSetNyne channel, Jake talks about some real shit. All of them got to look at my cold water, flaccid, bright white penis. What's up YouTube, this is Jake for the TheSetNyne channel. I have one question for you. How are you doing today? You can feel free to answer that question down in the comments section. So I talked about this in a recent video about how I hate to be hot and how it's always hot here in Boise. And today is no exception. There's a high of 92 degrees out. You know what that means for me? That means I stay in the apartment and keep the air conditioning going as long as I can, because if I walk out there, I'm going to lose 20 pounds immediately. But it's definitely not all bad being 92 degrees outside, because that means the river water is going to warm up faster and I'll be able to go swimming at an earlier date. When I lived in southeastern Idaho, but we lived a little bit further up north in like what's generally considered southeastern Idaho, I generally could not be swimming until mid-July or early August because the water was so damn cold all the time. But me and my brother Cade did once, I only did this once, jumped in the river in April, the beginning of April. And what happened to me, Cade was fine with it. I jumped in, my body went into shock, I couldn't move any of my muscles, and I sunk to the bottom of the river like a rock. Little did we know at the time that that was only the beginning of a long series of stupid things that I would do to land myself almost dead. So another time that I almost died in the river, I was at a place called the Sandbar in my hometown, and what the Sandbar was, it was basically St. Anthony's version of the beach. And it was this bit of property where they would dump sand on to make it look like a beach, and then there was some grass, like a jungle gym and a diving board, and it was a really cool place to go swimming as a young person. And I was there almost every day, and I knew that across from the river, every kid knew this growing up, it was common knowledge, there was a dam, and right next to that dam there was a couple of fish gates where the fish would swim through. And those gates were probably about like 4 feet by 4 feet, just big enough for, let's say, a 15-year-old Jake Veach to get his body stuck in while he was swimming by and not paying attention to what the fuck he was doing. So I did that. I got stuck. I come swimming by, and I'm like, yeah, I'm swimming, I'm the shit. And I come swimming by, and then all of a sudden, it sucks me in. And I'm just sitting there. Thank God I had my wits about me. I reached up, and I grabbed the cement lid of it, and I'm sitting there holding on for dear life. And my friends started to gather around me, and they're all, you know, young and stupid like I was, and they're like, what do we do? Oh my god, how do we fix this? What do we do? What do we do? And I'm like, call the fucking lifeguards, what you do. So one of them starts swimming over to get the lifeguard. As he does that, my stepmom notices that I'm stuck in the river, and she like jumps in like a superhero and like starts swimming upstream in this river, and she makes it there faster than I'd ever seen anybody swim across before. And she gets there, realizes there's nothing she's going to be able to do to get me out. A couple of my friends tried to help, and they got sucked in it too. And they were able to escape because it was just their legs. So the lifeguard finally makes it over and ties a rope around me and pulls me out. The funny part of this story is something that happened to me that I wasn't aware of. As I'd been sitting in there getting, you know, half my body ripped off, my swimming trunks and my boxers slid all the way down to my ankles. So I was not aware that they were there because, you know, I was in panic mode. So when he pulls me out, and there was a lot of hot girls sitting up there watching too, all of them got to look at my cold water, flaccid, bright white penis. Luckily enough for me, however, there was plenty of other reasons to make fun of me other than that situation. So I guess I kind of looked out there. Anyways, I have one more story to tell you before I bring this to a close. This happened to me when I was probably about 15 or 16 again, somewhere in that time period. I had just learned how to ride a four-wheeler out at my Uncle Gary's house, and he lived out in the middle of nowhere in this little town called Marysville, which was right next to the town that everybody thought was the really little town in our area called Ashton. So I'm riding around on the back roads out there. I'm just having a good old time. I'm like going 30. I'm like, yeah! And I get to this road, and the whole road is empty, devoid of ice, except for one tiny little patch. And wouldn't you know it, I hit that tiny little patch, and I go, woo! And I go, doing cartwheels across the hard-ass ground. And I mean, logic would tell you if I was going to break something, it would probably be my neck and I would have died. But no, it was my arm. And when I sat up, I kind of looked around and like dusted myself off, and then I realized my arm was bent right here at an angle. I looked at that and I'm like, oh, it's not supposed to be like that, oh God. Now, let me tell you about the horrifying feeling you get when you have a broken bone and it's bent, like your body is bent at somewhere it doesn't bend at an angle it should not be at. If you've ever broken a bone, you can relate to this. If you haven't, try to avoid that because it's pretty frightening. So as always, if you liked this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, add it to your favorites, or click the subscribe bar, wherever it's at the top. Today's question is, if you could go anywhere in the world, where would it be and why? Alright, peace out, I'll see you tomorrow. I really need to get better lighting in this place, don't I?